Hello everyone, this is Jotto and welcome to Versus Series. Remember, my team Acebreakers faces off against a well-known up-and-coming pro player. For this week we have Brammerham from Acebreakers facing off against Jonpi from Vega squadron. Now, fun fact, Jonpi is the first person to ever come on Versus Series 4 times across 3 different teams. So, fairly interesting that he's come on 4 times at this point. If he comes on a 5th time, I guess I'll have to start keeping a score as to how many he wins and loses. But anyway, without further ado, let's get started with the first game. So the bans on either side, which is kind of amusing considering the opening classes, were Jonpi banned Druid and Brammerham banned Rogue. And considering Brammer start with Rogue and Jonpi starting with Druid, it's kind of funny. But anyway, Druid has proven to be one of the strongest classes coming out of the Undertaker nerf. Now, the Undertaker nerf, I think, since I haven't really put my thoughts out on Undertaker nerf, it's good for the game. I would have liked to see that the nerf came out when the next set comes through. The reason for it is because nerfing Undertaker has caused the game to slow down a ridiculous amount, and I think Undertaker was overpowered, but they should have nerfed it a little bit later so they could balance it out with some extra aggro stuff in the next set. But anyway, we'll see how it pans out. As far as openings goes, the coin into Wild Growth into Shade is pretty insane. There's also Shredder, Senjin, really good start. Rogue, not so much. Didn't really have a play until turn 4. Even this turn, I think it's just a hit the face, dagger, pass, or you could. There is an argument to be made for Blood Mage. It's going for a deadly poison? Okay. Yeah, going for deadly poison to set up the Violet Teacher next turn. That's fine. So, Pile to Shredder comes down. There is an Innervate for any Ancient Allures that comes off the top there. Couple plays here. I think what you want to do first is attack the 4-3 with the dagger. Just sort of see where you can go with that. Next turn, Sludge Belcher. Oh, Snow Chugger. Wow. That's atrocious. Well, do you have to sap the Snow Chugger? Ugh. I think you have to sap the Snow Chugger. That's horrible. It's not like you can just play Violet Teacher, because then it's just going to die to the Shade and the Hero Power. But this Shade is starting to get out of control, and the Snow Trigger comes down again, so we're probably going to see a Sludge Belcher come down in response. But there is in fact a Black Knight. So yeah, Sludge Belcher, and then Black Knight's going to come down, and that's pretty brutal. I would say you kill the 2-3 with the dagger if you're going to go Sludge Belcher. Because otherwise the 2-3 is just not going to die anyway, and it's going to take out your Sludge Belcher along with the Shade. The debate here is Sludge Belcher or Violet Teacher. I think Sludge Belcher is better. I know there's a Black Knight, but from Brammerham's point of view, Sludge Belcher is better because you can go Violet Teacher or Eviscerate next turn, if needed. Yeah, I think this is an easy Black Knight, and you don't attack with a Shade. There's no point. Trade Prince Gallywix. Interesting. Yeah, going for the Spell Power Eviscerate there. We'll see whether this Gallywix does come out. I mean, Galux does have some pretty insane stats for the cost, but unfortunately that shade is pretty hard to stop, and that's going to be the main that's going to be the main thing that is really holding Brammerham down, is that shade. There is also half a combo that just came off the top there. I think, yeah, instead of hero powering, I think you should have innervated Druid of the Claw personally. Or Ascension. Top deck at Zero Drake is pretty handy. The question is, do you play it? I think you do. Just try and dig into your deck a bit further, even maybe Shiv to the face. That might be a bit inefficient though, but I think you definitely play the Drake. Okay, so he's gonna go Drake Shiv, so he shivs first. That's fair enough. SI7 agent and Eviscerate. Alright. Swipe deals with that, and then we're going to just see the Senjin come down. I think if he had the Druid of Claw down, he would be in very, very good shape. But he doesn't, because he didn't innervate it out. Yeah, I apologize for the hovering card here. I have a habit of going AFK while spectating these games, because I like keeping it as a surprise for myself. But sometimes you leave the mouse on a card. It's also a bit weird the way that spectator mode interacts when Hearthstone's in the background. Is it kind of mouses over even when you're not looking at Hearthstone, which is a bit odd. Sludge Belcher comes down here basically to stop him from dying to the combo, as the second half of the combo comes off the top. I would say this is a Druid of the Claw in charge, and then Hero Power. Yeah, because you could have innervated this engine. The question is, how do you survive? I mean, you can go Fan of Knives, Eviscerate, SI7, trade. But I'm pretty sure you're just dead to combo. I think that's enough damage at this point. Alright, so we're seeing Fan of Knives, and then Eviscerate, SI7. I'm pretty sure that's the play. Eviscerate SI7, and then run the Sludge Belcher into the 4-5. Yeah. Problem is, he's just straight dead to combo at this point. There's no combination that saves him from combo. Yeah, that will be the game. The Force of Nature Savage Roar combo is going to come down, and he can just take out the Sludge Belcher and then deal, what, 11 plus 8? He deal 19? Yeah, he's got enough. Now, if he hadn't attacked the Senjin, if he'd attacked the Sludge Belcher into the Druid of the Claw, he would have taken 3 less damage, and yeah, he would have survived. He would have survived combo, as far as I know. He would have still had to use 2 guys to go in there, but he'd have 3 more life, so he would have survived the combo. So a bit of a mistake there. But that game, I don't think he could have won that game, to be honest. So the mistake did not matter as much. He was too far behind from pretty much the mid game. Once that piloted Shredder spawned that 2-3 stupid Snow Chugger that messes up with every single weapon class. Speaking of weapon classes, the response From Brammerham here is the Paladin. Now, Paladin can beat Druid, but I do think that if there's one mistake to take away from this, it's not banning Druid, because Druid is very difficult to stop at the moment. And there aren't really any good, there's not really any like very, very good matchups against it. Not double combo Druid at least. You kind of have to wait for them to just get bad hands. I guess you could use Zoo, but depending on the amount of taunts, that can be a bit risky. This is a very good opening, though, from Brammerham. The ramp into the Senjin. Question is, how do you deal with the Senjin? That's actually a very good question. You could go Knife Juggler, Coin, Knife Juggler, question mark. Knife Juggler, Coin, Hero Power maybe. Otherwise you just can't kill the Senjin. This Senjin Shield Master is very, very difficult to deal with. This board does not pass the Senjin test. Can't get past that 3-5. That swipe is going to be very handy later on in the game. But for now, I think you want to Wrath 1 and then maybe Hero Power the 2-2 and kill it. I think that's a good line of play. Kills 2 guys. Okay, he's not going for that. Is he going for the draw then on the Wrath? Interesting. I don't think I agree with that line of play at all, to be honest. I think you can Wrath for 1 damage on the 2-2 and then clear that instead, and then the Zombie Child's alive, but that doesn't really matter as much. So I don't like that line of play. Now, the real question is, how do you deal with the Senjin? I think the correct play here is to coin the Sludge Belcher. We could see some Knife Juggler shenanigans, but I think coining Sludge Belcher is correct. Interesting, going for the Knife Juggler play. This has been a very, very awkward Senjin to kill for the Paladin. And the swipe is utterly devastating here. It's gonna kill everything, and there's an Ancient Allure next turn. This does not look good for Brammerham. This is going very, very well for Jonpi. Okay, so this is a Sludge Belcher and then Hope for no Black Knight, I think. I don't think you can play around Black Knight, because otherwise you're going to get really far behind. It's the same with the Boom. I think there's going to be a Boom next turn, and you can't play around Big Game Hunter, otherwise you're just going to lose. So yeah, we're going to see Ancient Allure come down here, definitely. Let's see if he gets a Big Game Hunter off one of these. No Big Game Hunter in hand. That could be critical. Alright, I definitely think that the correct play going into Brammerham's turn here is to play this Boom. You definitely don't attack the Belcher here with the Senjin. There's no reason to. Harrison Jones, not doing a ton of work in this matchup. The hero does attack, just weapons are not involved. Alright, you slam the Boom as far as I'm concerned here. As we hear some stuff going past the window. Must remember to close that each time I record a video. So yeah, we're definitely seeing Coin Boom here, and if there's no Big Game Hunter, then this is the catch-up play that Brammerham needs to get back into the game. And by the looks of it, there's no Big Game Hunter in that hand. That 3-drop is a Shade. Sylvanas is going to wreak havoc, however. Yeah, you play Sylvanas here. Sylvanas, hero power for the armor, then pass. And you can even kill the... Actually, no, you can kill the 3-2 with a 5-5. Yeah, that works. Attacking the 1-1. Attacking the 1-2 to a 1-1. Yeah, I could see that. Alright. This is an interesting one. I think you actually attack the Sylvanas with your 7-7. And then see what happens, because it doesn't matter what he steals. You can get rid of the board. The other way of doing this is doing the risky side of things, which is trying to kill the Sylvanas without the use of the boom, and then hoping he doesn't steal it. Is he just ignoring it? So these going face. Well, that was a very good boom bot, that's for sure. Choosing to deal the 9 damage. The Paladin really isn't the aggressor in this stage of the game, so we'll have to see how this turns out. There is a swipe, there is also an Azure Drake, and that is a ridiculous blowout. Actually, is it? Yeah, you can swipe the 4-3. See what this boom bot does. Scavenging Hyena and hitting the face for only a very small amount of damage there. Scavenging Hyena gets stolen. Not the most useful effect in the world, but it's a 2-2. At this point, I think you just play True Silver and then Hero Power. But yeah, Brammerham is quite far behind now. That Azure Drake swipe was quite brutal. We'll have to see whether he can weasel his way out of this. Starfall. Interesting. I have not seen a Starfall in a very long time. At least not on anything that isn't Fatigue Druid. So yeah, playing this Wild Growth to cycle, probably going to play an Azure Drake and then just Hero Power, or maybe Azure Drake Shade. Interesting. Playing around True Silver and Consecrate. Well, kind of. So this looks like a Consecrate into Shredder play here. Another Hyena. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, you play Consecrate, and I actually think you play Harrison Jones over Shredder here. It's more mana efficient. But this Harrison Jones is going to get Starfold. Not something you expect to say. I think you actually go Starfall and then Druid of the Claw. Yeah, that seems to be the line of play here. I would actually Druid of the Claw in charge at this point. The problem with putting it in taunt is it's very vulnerable to Black Knight, and you've already seen a True Silver. Although Paladins are not known for running Black Knight, it's difficult to figure out what to expect, especially in show matches where people will put very different cards in their deck as opposed to normal. Same goes in tournaments. See a Black Knight come up here, that will be safe for Tyrion, and probably won't come down before then. Echoing Ooze, arguably the worst thing you can get. It is golden though, the golden Echoing Ooze is very, very trippy. Well, I mean, the worst one is Captain's Parrot, I think, or depending on the situation, Doomsayer. But Doomsayer also has its moments of absolute brilliance. The equality is going to do a lot of work here because he can immediately play Muster for Battle Quartermaster. This is the all-in play. There is no play after this. This is the hope to win right now and hope for no top deck combo. Let's see what the top deck is. It is not a combo piece. How much damage is that though? 7 plus 6. That is lethal. That is lethal off the top of the deck if I'm not mistaken. 7 plus 6 is 13. Top deck lethal coming out of Jonpi. That was the last hurrah as far as Brammerham was concerned. But Jonpi goes up in the series 2-0. Now, normally that'd be the end of the story in a best of 3. However, in Versus Series we play all 3 games. So let's see if Brammerham can redeem himself to some degree and take the series back up to 2-1. Or shall Jonpi close this out with a 3-0. Now, this last deck appears to be Handlock, and that is a pretty insane opening hand. And there you see Jonpi with the Wild Growth into Senjin for the 3rd game in a row. Every single game getting that Wild Growth Senjin. The deck Jonpi's playing is very interesting. It appears to be a ramp double combo druid. Harkening back to, I mean, there's a Starfall and there's also Zombie Chows in here, I believe. This harkens back a bit to Fast Druid from a couple seasons ago. Well, I say a couple seasons ago, this was ages ago at this point. Debating the Ancient Watcher. Did send back the Sun Fury. I think, yeah, you do tap here. Now, this particular handlock does have Zombie Chows in it to deal with some of the early aggression. And is also playing Boom, which means probably no Ragnaros. There might be. It's difficult to fit that many tech cards into the same deck. So this looks like tap Zombie Chow, possibly. But he did get a Giant off the top, which means you just want to play a Giant up. Wait, is that a Foe Reaper? That is a Foe Reaper. I have not seen a Foe Reaper in play ever? Possibly in Constructed? I've got one in Arena, and that was slightly brutal. But I don't think I've ever seen one in play in Constructed. Now, what do you do here for turn 4? I think you just play out the Giant. See, Foe Reaper is the 6/9 for 8 that deals splash damage, so to say, when it attacks. It has the Betrayal effect on its attacks. Top deck Swipe will allow him to deal with this Giant, and then Keeper of the Grove will deal with the Twilight Drake that comes down next. But the next couple turns are literally Twilight Drake, Boom. That is crazy. This is one of those, how many threats can you deal with? And the answer to that is probably not all of them. I think this is a Keeper of the Grove Hero Power turn to kill this Twilight Drake. That's fairly simple. Question is, what do you do next turn for Brammerham? Pretty sure that's going to be a Twilight Drake Sun Fury, possibly. I mean, you may want to keep the Sun Fury, so just play the Ancient Watcher instead. With the Iron Beak Owl pickup, you definitely want to play out this Ancient Watcher. Also an anti-Keel Bomb, which would be very handy for later turns. Difficult to say what to play here. I think Loatheb, Innervate Senjin is one play. There's also Foe Reaper play. If you're going to do this, I think you Innervate out the Senjin. try and build up your board a little bit before he has access to spells again. Bit of a slip up there on Jonpi's part. Now this is either a boom turn or a silence turn. I think this is a boom turn. Actually no, the problem with that is if you go boom, you're dead to combo, so you can't go boom. So yeah, playing the extra Ancient Watchers and then taunting both of them up is about as safe as you can possibly get. 10 health and taunt on the board, and being 5 health each makes it very awkward to kill efficiently with Force of Nature combos. Top decks the Ancient Allure, which is arguably exactly what he needed. And then he can take out this 4-5 and then Wrath to 2-3. So very, very powerful turn coming out from Jonpi there. But he is going to have problems dealing with this. I mean, fighting on the board against Handlock is very difficult. Once you get to this stage of the game, fighting on the board against Handlock is very tricky because they play cards that have massive stat totals for their effective cost. Simply because of the way their deck functions. So they've got Ancient Watcher being 9 stats for 2 mana. They've got Twilight Drakes, which can be upwards of 14 stats for 4. The Giants are 16 each. So it's very difficult to compete with. Going for the boom there because it's safe from combo because he can't kill. He'd need Ironbeak Owl Innervate combo to win from here. So it's pretty safe to slam the boom while you can. Question is, if you're on Jonpi's side of things, what do you do from here? I think you... The problem with swiping is that it may just completely screw you over. These boom bots, these golden boom bots may completely mess up this play. As a result, yeah, attacking the 4-5 makes a lot of sense there. Means that the swipe won't accidentally kill your Ancient Allure before it can do what it needs to. And then Swipe's Engine should, in theory, kill that Dr. Boom. In theory. Life tap there, pretty quick. I think you just go, let's see. You could go Zombie Chow Heal Bot? This is a weird turn. We do have a situation where Brammerham's a bit out of threats. Yeah, going for the Defender of Argus is fine. It keeps your Dr. Boom alive, at least for a time. And then I think you silence your own Dr. Boom. Try and keep him out of attack range. Maybe that's a little bit too cutesy. Keep in mind you're out of Ancient Watchers at this point, so you can definitely go for the sort of weird and wonderful plays with silence. Keeper of the Grove is an okay play here. It doesn't mean you don't take 8 from this boom. Almost called him Doom. Nope, it's Boom. Keeper, Innervate, Foe Reaper seems pretty good here. And that appears to be what's happening. There is a Foe Reaper on the board. The King of the Harvest Golems has entered the field. Immediate life tap. Mountain Giant. That seems pretty good. Unfortunately, this Mountain Giant is very awkward. In fact, I would silence this Foe Reaper. I would definitely silence this Foe Reaper. There's no reason to risk this. Absolutely no reason not to play around Savage Roar. mean, he's arguably playing around Foe Reaper here, but it would have been better just to silence it. He's going to lose pretty much his entire board here. Not even pretty much, he just is losing his board here. And that's actually a full turn in his hand, so he can go Shade, Shredder, Savage Roar. But then he's going to pretty much just lose to Hellfire. And then he can just go Hellfire, Giant, Heal. Actually, no, he can't do that. He will have too much life to do that, so maybe even a Hellfire anti-heal bot. Actually, no, they can't be a combo, so you can go Hellfire Giant safely. Yeah, Hellfire, see what the Shredder spawns. Actually, no, you don't even need to, you can silence it, you save the R&B cal. And then Hellfire, play the Giant. And the Chow. Actually, do you even play the Chow? I don't think so. If you're trying to finish out the game quickly with this Giant, which he is, then you just want to try and, well, end the game quickly. Sylvanas, one of the best top decks you could have possibly got. The only better one would probably be Big Game Hunter himself. Shadow Flame. At this point, do you just play Jiraxis? No, not going for the Jiraxis. So this is an anti-Keel bot, right? Or a Shadow Flame anti... So he's Shadow Flaming it to try and stop any steals, and then he's just gonna go for a Zombie Chow, try and keep board position. This has turned out to be kind of an awkward game on both sides of things. Starfall, not doing much here. This is literally just going to be a hero power pass turn from a druid. Never a good sign. And there's a Ragnaros. However, you definitely want to go for the Jiraxis here, make it safe. Now, Jiraxis does only heal for the 6 here, but 6 is enough. It means you don't die to combo. And there's one half of the combo. It'd be quite... He actually has to Starfall this this Zombie Chow. And he's dead. Had to Starfall the Zombie Chow and he would have survived. That's kind of amusing. Also, I stand corrected on the Ragnaros versus Boom thing. Turns out he found space for 2. And Brammerham takes back a game in the series. So Jonpi ends up winning the series 2-1. That Druid list really coming through for him. As we see Lord Jiraxis on the victory screen there. But anyway, thank you all for watching this week. If you like the content, please subscribe. If you have any feedback, put it in the comment section below. The team tournament that I'm organizing is currently still in the works. We've had one of the games played, which was before the Undertaker nerf, which is going to be interesting. But the rest of them will be after the Undertaker nerf, and we're not quite sure when those will be broadcasted. We still need to decide on a day/time, but when we figure that out, I will definitely let you guys know. But anyway, as for now, it's just from Jotto, signing off.